Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I've got a Bawoo. This is the Re 100 Bawoo we've been working on the past couple of episodes. It needs a shield, it needs a blaster, and then we can separate it and do that transformation, and then it will be done. So I'm going to put that over to the side because the yellowish green beam is weird in my in this camera. Hello and welcome. I'm going to say hi to Isk. Hi, Isk. Lovely to have you here on a Thursday. It's been a little while since you've been able to be live with us. That's awesome. Mr. Bob, hello. Road, hello. Great to have you here. Lovely people joining us. Men, women, non-binary. Everybody is welcome at the Bear Cave for the Build with Bear workshop. Um, and it's rad to have you here. If you're a subscriber, now's a great time. Lashbrook is here. Hello. Yeah, people were throwing the Bear Cave emote in even before I could. So that rules. I'm going to throw both emotes in. The Lego emote, which is at the $10 monthly level. Right currently, Iron Souls could use that, but Iron Souls does not watch live. Hello, Iron Souls, and everyone else watching the YouTube archive. Hello, friends. Great to have you here. We're going to wait for a few more folks to join us. Thursday's usually a little busier for us than Saturday, so hopefully folks will be coming in as we also while we're here. So they Twitch got rid of communities and put in tags. Communities were basically the same thing as tags, like hashtags. There were places you could put that said, my videos fit into these categories. So if people were searching for those categories, they would find videos like mine and like other folks. Just camera is other folks that would be appropriate for it. So I had, and you could make up your own category. You could just type in wherever you wanted. So I had Gunpla, Gundam, Lego, building, keywords that you would search for that if you found my stream, you'd be like, ooh, nice. But if you were like not looking for that, you wouldn't type that in. So they added tags, and none of the stuff that I would tag shows up. There is no tag for Gunpla. There is no tag for Lego, even though there are Lego video games. There's no tag for creative. The category is creative, but there's no tag for creative. There's no tag for build. Minecraft exists still. So I tagged anime because we talk about anime every week, every show we talk about anime. So I'm kind of curious if people are going to search for the anime tag and then show up here and be like, you're building a Lego Ninjago Water Strider. What does this have to do with anime? And I'll be like, it doesn't. But I'd rather you come here for anime because we can talk about it than you come here for video games, which we probably won't talk about too much. Maybe we will. I don't have anything going on in the world of video games to talk about. Spider-Man is a cop. There, I'll say that. Spider-Man loves the police, and that's kind of a bummer. It's a really weird. Insomniac's New York is very strange because it's crime on every corner, but also like a love for law enforcement. It's a weird. It's a weird. It's weird. I don't know. Hello and welcome. We're going to wait a couple more minutes for folks to join us. We will jump into building. Like I said, we are going to work on our shield here and our gun for our Bawoo, and then we will jump to the Water Strider and we will build the Water Strider. That is going to be cool. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I need to say about that. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all rested and ready to jump in. It's the end of anime season, almost the beginning of a new one. Monday, October 1st, new animes start up. It's a great time. Mr. Bob just had just ate. I assume just ate Indian at a new place in town. That's cool. New Indian restaurant opening up near you. That's always fun. I have not been to Indian in quite a bit myself. Um, but yeah, that's cool. Uh, and Road says you check out Life is Strange 2 at all? Is that game like the opposite? That game is like the opposite with police views. I have not. I did enjoy Life is Strange quite a bit, and have not checked out Life is Strange 2 at all. But also, I'll say this: I don't like episodic video games. I like to get them all at once and play them all at once. I'm one of those. I might pre-order or buy the first episode and buy the season pass to get all of them, but I often wait until they're all out before I play them. Especially if there's not a track record of being good about it, or if it's like they just don't know when the next one will come out because they're like not sure. Um, yeah, I would assume there's some politics in that game. Uh, Road, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I have been kind of pretty much avoiding it. All right, what's time. Let's get into some building. Let's pop over. We're Bawoo bound. Here's our Reborn One RE 100. So this is the RE the Reborn line. The first time we worked in this line. So it's a 1/100 scale. It's not a full master grade, but it's certainly not a high grade. There's some cavernous big pieces. There's like I put this out here. Like you would never see this much of a gun. We'll do the overhead. You would never see this much of a gun assembled together on a spruce in a master grade. No way. So that's very indicative. But yeah, we don't have a lot left to build. So we can get into it. Pat, I feel like you were real close to, if you're going to do anime, at least do it in my house where I can watch you. Haha. Yeah, look, hey, if you guys are, if you want to be on Twitch in a chat room, watching a live stream and talking about anime, I'd much prefer you do it here on my stream because I'm a 38-year-old man with opinions on anime that date back into the early 90s. Technically, the late 80s because of my knowledge of Dragon Ball. So I have many decades of experience when it comes to anime. And we can talk about it in a safe space where we're all cool and everything's all right. And I'm sober. So yeah, if y'all need to talk about anime, you can come to me anytime you need to. All right? So we got our Bawoo. We're going to put our Bawoo over here, just off to the side as we build these weapons. Let's see. We're going to build this beam rifle. Please move your chair around and sit backwards. Yes. Unfortunately, this gamer chair that I'm sitting on now, it's not really a gamer chair. It's a very nice office chair that some gamers use. I can't sit on it if I spin it around. It doesn't work. Can't do that. Yeah, I was just talking about old anime in discussion of that. Like, it was a bit of a conversation about Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho is in the news for two reasons. The first, which is easy just to get out of the way, is that Yusuke, main character in Yu Yu Hakusho, is going to be in the Shonen Jump video game, the Jump fighting game, which is like basically it's Marvel vs. Capcom, but it's like Naruto. It's like Naruto versus One Piece. So yeah, it's like a bunch of anime characters for all that. And Yosuke is going to be in that. So Yu is in the news. Also, 25th anniversary of Yu Yu Hakusho. And there's going to be an OVA, two OVAs. One will be it does look kind of so Isk. It's weird because they have to go an art style that everything kind of works in, and so they end up with an art style that nothing really works in. It's tough because it's so many different artists like styles. Like Akira Toriyama stuff still looks like Akira Toriyama, but like some people's stuff doesn't look right because it kind of can't. It's a tough position to be in. Um, but uh, what was I saying? The second thing is that they're going to do two OVAs. One is going to be looking at Hiei and Kurama. It's a part of the manga that wasn't in the anime. And then there's some sort of like side story thing of them like being reunited after the events of the end of the show to like deal with the crisis. So we get to see like, which is very fun because it might mean that Kuwabara will fight because minor spoilers for Yu Yu Hakusho, the last arc does not involve Kim at all. Um, Essentially, it's a three faction war, and each character joins a faction, and Kuwabara does not go because he's like, this is too much. Like, I can't, guys. Sorry. Maybe I shouldn't, and then he doesn't. So it'd be interesting to see if he's involved in the fighting. I hope that Crunchyroll, which has all of Yu Yu Hakusho, uh, licenses the OVAs. Sometimes they license OVAs, not all the time, but sometimes they do. So I'm hoping that this is one of those times. Um, because it would be great if they did. Um, Another thing that's got an OVA coming out in October, like we got an anime talk early. It happens. It happens sometimes. I think on Saturday we went a very long time before I talked about anime. We had other stuff to talk about. So today we're going to talk about anime right from the jump, right from the Shonen Jump. Booyah! Um, but yeah, let's see. Love is like a cocktail. So I haven't talked about this in a while. Love is like the cocktail is an anime that is very short episodes. There's no entrance song. There's an outro song, and with the outro song, it's 3 minutes per episode. It's like a very short, very cute relationship based anime about a high powered business lady during the day who goes home uh, to her husband who works at a bar. And most episodes involve him making her a cocktail. And then they're cute and lovely together. And it's very heartwarming and nice. Well, they're going to make a special for that. I don't know why, but it's basically like episode like 14, basically. And that's coming out in October. And I'm hoping that that shows up on Crunchyroll as well, so that I don't have to go and get it fan subbed. All right, our gun is complete. Just has that happen. We can put it on our arm. We'll probably put it on our arm. We'll just do this because it's easier sometimes with some of these kits. Saw My Hero Academia. It was great. Probably my favorite theater experience I've ever had. Wow. As you hate the theater. That's awesome. I have not seen that. I've heard very good things about the My Hero movie, but I have not seen it. And then, Pat, I made some anime movies today. I canceled my Verve to playing Crunchyroll because Verve has very bad apps. Um, that makes sense, Mr. Bob. I am somewhat not because for any reason other than just to make sure you know uh, that uh, the cool. So I have a Verve account, right? I got it from employees that work there. They're paying for a year, but I don't log into Verve that often. I rarely do. I usually only do when Crunchyroll is being weird. And I just log into Crunchyroll and use the Crunchyroll app. I just have my accounts linked. Um, so I barely ever look at Verve, and I almost exclusively look at Crunchyroll. So that is an option that exists for folks. I say that, obviously, people are aware that they are friends. Um, uh, yeah, you can link your account like that. So I just log into Crunchyroll, and use Crunchyroll and watch there, and then I only use Verve if um, like on a Saturday night sometimes when Crunchyroll just isn't working, which happens on occasion. Uh, they just get overwhelmed, if especially in popular, like trying to watch the last episode of Dragon Ball Super live. I watched on Verve because Crunchyroll was not going to load right. Uh, you think you can only link Crunchyroll to Verve and not the other way around? That might be totally true. I'm not sure about that. I apologize for not knowing the whole story. I know that I had a Crunchyroll account for a very long time. Then I created a Verve account, which was basically the same username. And then I was able to link those two accounts, and now I just go on Crunchyroll, and it's fine. Also, because my queue didn't transfer over, so I was like, well, my queue's important. I put time into that. Um, so I'm not sure. Uh, Road says when Mineta showed up, everyone booed, and it was so great. Um, so I love that, and two, some folks might know that Simone de Rochefort from Polygon tweeted the other day about how great My Hero was. After an episode of the Polygon Show, their podcast, she decided to finally start watching it. And I had said something about like how it's awesome and all the characters are great, except for the one character that everyone hates, and like in all caps, except for the one character that everyone hates, and everyone hates him, and he's the worst. And she didn't know what I meant because she hadn't met him yet. And then so eventually she did reply and goes, "I now know who you're talking about." And it was like a fun, like, yeah, right? Because that character is awful. He's the worst. He's the worst. He's the worst. He's the worst. Stupid grape juice. Oops, that fell apart. All right, so we got a gun. I thought the apps would improve, but it's been a year of the same stuff. Yeah. I mean, Crunchyroll's player just got upgraded after a very long time of it not being good. So I'm excited to see what Verve will do, and if they will make any changes to their player. Uh, Look, Lashbrook, I tend to agree with you. There are some characters that are. Here's the thing. I don't mind that there are high school students that are not perfect uh, people, right? And I don't mind that if there's a character whose flaw is acts very much like a high school person and like asks out everyone and asks out all their friends and is fucking needs to just relax a little bit. Uh, so like I'm kind of fine with that, but if your major character story, your purpose, your whole deal is that you are a gross little man, I'm not thrilled with it. Not thrilled with it at all. Uh, Also, the sniper uh, electricity stuff was pretty cool. I saw that. I'm not caught up on My Hero, but I'm getting there. But yeah, I haven't seen the movie yet. Look, I don't think he will. I think that characters are going to be flawed as long as they're there. I don't see them like growing up. Like maybe in the future, because people change and grow and all that. But like, I don't know. I don't see it happening. All right, we're almost done here. I'm just gonna. I don't know what this last piece goes. All right, so that is a piece to combine there. Okay, great. So we are going to finish our shield here, and then we will be done. And then we're going to separate into the attacker and the nutter, the two halves of this gunpla. Let's see. Yeah. So, also in that Shonen Jump fighting series or game that pulls from different series, Killua from Hunter x Hunter is also going to be in it, as well as characters drawn by Akira Toriyama that are new. They maybe were something that were going to be used in some other show. It seems like that he at some point was going to use in something else and isn't using in this. I'm not 100% clear where these characters come from, but yeah, new character designs, which is pretty cool. And Kevin Killua in there. It's Killua and Kurapika, which is not. I wouldn't have gone with. I think I would have gone with Gon instead of Kurapika. I mean, the chains are interesting powers, but then you just make him the fishing pole. Like, I love the idea of a anime brawler where you like fighting thing where you have a little kid that uses a fishing pole as a weapon. That rules. So yeah, a little disappointed that's the choice they went with. So here's the shield, which like shoots off like mines and stuff. It's pretty cool. Uh, Yes, Yugi. So Yami Yugi is in there. Yeah, there's a lot of cool characters in the shonen world, and it's pretty neat how many are going to be represented on the show. All right, so we can add the shield here. This the shield just lives on there. It's pretty cool. I fully weaponized this thing for now. And now, before we get into our next kit, which is we're going to do a Lego kit because we've now completed the assembly, I would be remiss if I did not take photos of the Bawoo in its attacker and nutter forms. So we will take the hands off because it's easier just to take the hands off for these weapons. Take the shield off. Okay. And then, all right, so to do this, you lift up this part here. You pull up the back piece out, which swings. And then, yeah, and then that comes up, and then it pops out. So that's the two halves. You have A and B. The top and the bottom. This is the attacker. This is the nutter. Put the nutter aside for a moment, and we will transform the attacker. So the attacker, some of this is in English, some of it is not. I'm going to do my best to understand what they want me to do. I haven't transformed this. I should have, just off camera, earlier done that, but I did not. So I apologize. All right, so this goes like this. And then oops. This piece does come off on occasion. This top piece here, I have found, which is annoying. There's a good spot for it to go. There's like two or three things that just kind of fall off on this kit. I mean, it is it's not a master grade. It's a high grade sort of thing. So, um, so let's see. So it goes like this. This thing loves to fall off. Just loves it. I'm going to keep this off for now because it just likes to fall off. So that goes like that. And then it goes up like that. Okay, it goes up like that. Okay, that makes sense. Then the head. All right. And then, wait, where do the arms go? Sorry, I didn't see where the arms went. It goes from like this, basically, to that. Oh, like the arms like fold underneath it. Okay, that makes some sense. I apologize. This doesn't really explain a lot of what this thing freaking does, which is frustrating. But I do want to transform it. I haven't put any work into building recently, but I did buy an SMR Himar because I want one dumb flying donut. Totally understand. That's a fun dumb kit. I don't remember how to say it right. So I bought two kits recently. One is I bought a high grade sand rock because it was on sale, and it's the Endless Wall sand rock. So they made one master grade of the original sand rock, and they made a high grade 1/100 scale of the sand rock from Endless Walls, the OVA. So I bought the 1/100 because it was very inexpensive, and I'm kind of interested in building that. So I have that, and then I bought a Dragon Ball, or no, then I bought a Lego kit that is a Lego Creative Kit that was on sale. Twitter user DataJack sent me a link. It was on sale, very reasonably priced, and I went and purchased it because it looked cool. Um, it is a space shuttle, so it is a real thing, which just looked very cool. All right, so I don't know if I'm doing this right. I'm trying to do this right. This goes, I know this goes under here, and then this goes, under here, but I don't know where. Oh, it goes like this. I get it. All right, I didn't do this perfect, but you get the idea. This is like the jet version. Is the top. I didn't do it right, but I didn't do it great, but I did it okay. Let's look at the jet version, and then let's look at the Nutter. I am looking forward to finding out what a resin conversion kit is for my new Gundam. Huh. That's very cool. That sounds cool, Mr. Bob. All right, so then this thing, the Nutter. You go pull this up, that. Ah, got it. Oops, that popped off. All right. This goes up. This goes like this. Into like that. That's why it's so cavernous in these things, is to give that room. And then you turn it like this. That's it. This is really stupid. This is the Nutter. It looks very stupid and kind of doesn't really transform so much as it just moves around a bit. But yeah, that's the second half. There's the Nutter there on that screen. But yeah, that's it. There is some sort of underground gunpla black market for higher quality knockoffs and kit models. Yeah, Mr. Bob. I mean, if they don't make it for you, you make it yourself. I have friends who are incredibly or heavily into Transformers, and they have lots of kits that were like modifications and new head molds to make one character into another character because they use a lot of the same frames. So if you got this thing or repaints when Thundercracker, they hadn't made a new Thundercracker in a long time, so people were making their own Thundercrackers based on other jets and repainting. And this version of the Sun one doesn't do it right, and all that kind of nonsense. Not nonsense, but lovely, wonderful, nerdy shit that I do love and appreciate. But like, all right, y'all. All right, so that's the Bawoo. It's got a transformation that splits apart. That's silly and nonsense. Lots of these left over, which is great. I'm going to keep that in the kit. But what I might do is, I might take this and keep it and then use it for spare parts because these are really nice to have. So I might not put this, this might not stay with this kit forever. And might just come with me to do other things. All right, so that's it. Now it's time for the Water Strider. So here is a thing I want to talk about. First of all, we got to switch to the Water Strider. Here's the big thing we need to talk about, folks. Look at this. Now, this is how this book came. This is the thing I noticed about the Ninjago series, is they shove the books in to make room, and they often put the books in like this to fit it in to the box. Lego, what the fuck? This sucks. Like, these are bent. These came like this. This sucks. I have not said this sucks about a Lego product since I started this stream. I think maybe there was a kit that didn't come with a tool that I was like, that kit was big enough, it should have come with one. But like, this is bad. I put this underneath a very heavy book today, trying to flatten it out, and I did not get far enough flattening it out, which is very frustrating. This is a Ninjago thing. This is the Ninjago movie. This is the Water Strider, as you can see from the image on the left and right of me. It looks pretty cool. But yeah, if you want to see the Bawoo split apart, is the third season of Bill Fighters. First episode. Thank you, Mr. Bob. I appreciate that. All right, so first thing we need to do. I took all the mini pieces and put them in here, or the small bags that were in one. We got a null, right? That's the first thing we got to do, is we got a null. I can put this stuff over here because I don't need it. But we're going to keep this sponger specifically for putting our decals on. Because, like, every leg of this thing says Water Strider on it, or Strider at least. So we got a bunch of those. So yeah, so we're gonna null. I hope you're ready to watch me null. Once again, I will put the figs on the side and just null by color. And if it looks like it's a minifig piece, I will separate that out. This is nice. It's got a lot of black, but it seems to be lots of black, but also, the different grays that you're going to find in your kits, which is good too. So continuing anime talk. We didn't get into it. So, since the last show, 400... I want to say 424, 434. I can't see the box from here. It's written on the box, but I believe this is 424 pieces. So we will do a lot of it today. We won't finish it today, but we'll do a lot of it today. Because, especially because of the nulling taking a little bit of time. Usually on Thursdays, I would have like 2 anime to talk about. But How Not to Summon a Demon Lord did end. It was a 12-episode show, so that's over. So we don't have that show anymore to talk about. But we can talk about the 12th of 13 episodes of season 3 of Overlord. Uh, hello, Sling. Happy Thursday to you. Welcome. But yeah, so the 12th episode of Overlord happened. Now, if you watched last week, you would know that the 11th episode kind of got me. I have been down on this because I do think that it has not been a great season. But the 13th episode involved a whole army of different specialized goblins that were all very gung-ho and very great. And I was super into those dang goblins. So that kind of got me up. And this episode, he summoned a new bad thing. And you're like, okay, you are very scary. There was one kind of interesting moment where Einzalgun summoned these kind of monsters and then was like, applaud me. And he had like the Empire, like all the people in the group that he signed a treaty with, who were fucking scared shitless of him. He had all of them applaud him for being awesome. And I thought that was kind of interesting as a character development. But it's overall it was fine. Next week's the last episode of this season. We got 2 seasons in 1 year, which is kind of interesting. Pacing wise, I think it would have been better if they just did 26 together. But like I said, first season I think is very good of Overlord. The second half of the second season I think is very good, and the first episode of the third season is very fun. And then I'm not a huge fan of everything else. Like I said, episode 11 of the season, pretty good, not bad, but yeah, like I said, overall, pretty bummed because it's a show that I really like the first season of it. I am now caught up on Chio's School Road, and that show is hit or miss, but still very good. Still very funny, still very weird. It's good. It's a good show if you like video games. I think she's like very fun. There was like a thing that was so embarrassing it was almost hard to watch, which you know I don't mind seeing that now and again. I think that could be pretty cool. It's like, yeah, sure, you know, high school student, you know, you're gonna get embarrassed. So yeah, I like that show a lot. I'm glad I caught up. I have not caught up on Planet With. That is my hope that tomorrow I can catch up on that because I'd really like to talk about Planet With. I talk about it in bits and spurts here, but I'd like to get spoilery a bit in it because I think it's really good. And also, October 1st, new anime starts. So like, I kind of need to catch up on anything I haven't finished because then I'm just gonna get really caught up in the new shows. Like literally that the show about being reincarnated as a slime comes out on Monday. So that I know that the very first show I'm going to watch comes out on Monday, and I think the Jojo show comes out like that. If not that day, then very early next week the new Jojo is out. And I don't know about some of the other ones. I think some of the other ones don't start until a weekend, like the following weekend. The first step of any Lego set is organized Lego. You're totally right. We are knolling, as they say. We are just knolling by color right now. When I do knolling off camera, like before a show, before a stream, I will like knoll and then by color and then by like size or style or whatever, just to separate more. Here, I'm just kind of haphazardly putting things places, and then I will organize it better to suit my needs. But yeah, right now just kind of putting things where they go. I really like this clear blue. You can see it in the overhead shot. The clear blue, like this is very striking. I like it a lot. It's a good color combo. But yeah, so I'd like to finish Planet with pretty much. I know that it's almost over, or it is over, but I kind of gave up on Master of whatever and the Ragnarok thingy. That wasn't really for me. Let's see. Reunion was very good. I liked it a lot. Um, it went some places I didn't expect it to. So that was cool. Let's see. What other anime this season? I didn't watch the I didn't watch the diving anime, and I know some people that really think the diving anime is good. I didn't watch the badminton anime, and I know a bunch of people really liked where that went, but I'm not really interested in that. I do think it's kind of interesting. The one of the like mid-season reveals is pretty interesting in that. Uh, and I didn't watch the volleyball anime, which I don't know anyone that liked the volleyball anime. I'm sure there's people out there that are like, "What? No, the volleyball anime is the anime to watch this season," but I haven't really heard that. Um, and I didn't like Asobi or whatever it's called. Like I don't know the name of it. I didn't like the really weird, surreal. You think it's a slice of life show, but really it's a strange, like I don't know, nonsense Mean Girls show. Mean Girls is the wrong term, but like I don't know. That show just uh, the art is very off-putting, and I was like, no thanks, not gonna watch that. Um, I heard about a new anime, another new anime that is based on a manga that seems interesting. I wrote about it on Twitter. I'm going to look up the name on Twitter uh, because I don't remember it. The name is, let's see here, uh, Skeleton Bookstore Employee Honda. Skeleton Bookstore Employee Honda is the literal translation. I don't know if that's going to be the name of the anime. I don't know if anyone's licensed it, but the idea of it is there is a skeleton that works at a bookstore, and he specializes in manga. And there are other people that work at the bookstore that are also like, there's like a pumpkin head and a bunch of, and like a ghost and a bunch of other stuff. So it's a slice of life show, but it's the main character is a skeleton. And I hope that is coming out in the U.S. I don't know if it is. Oh, I can talk about the fall while I'm doing the last of my knolling. October 1st on Crunchyroll, we get That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. That is the 30-something-year-old man who is now a slime in a fantasy world. That looks pretty cool. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is on the 5th of October. The 6th has the new Sword Art Online, which I am cautiously interested in. It has Goblin Slayer, which just looks like a cool fantasy role-playing RPG-inspired thing of like a priestess who sets out with a party and is immediately overwhelmed, but then runs into this dude whose mission is to kill every goblin, and it's like kind of overpowered. And then there's Radiant, that's also on the 6th. These are all on Crunchyroll. Radiant is a mecha anime that is the artist who did it. The manga is French, and that sounds interesting. Um, and then that's all the shows that have been announced for Crunchyroll that I'm interested in. Funimation has SSS Gridman, which I believe is a Trigger, kind of loosely based on like Ultraman style shows. So that sounds like it might be cool. And for me, that's interesting. And then let's see. Castlevania Season 2 is the end of October, just in time for Halloween. That's a good idea. And that's all that I know about that I'm interested in. There are, uh, and then there's some shows that I don't know when they're coming out. And so I'm interested in that, but I don't know when we're getting them. Um, there is a show about Beelzebub, who is a just like a teenage girl slice of life show that I'm very much into the idea of. And then there's also a slice of life show about a vampire and her school friend that becomes a roommate. Uh, and so like fuck yeah, y'all know how much I love slice of life shows, and especially when you take a slice of life show and you add in some sort of supernatural element, I am very much into that. That's 100% my jam. So let's see. So we're just gonna build our minifigs here. Got some ninjas here. As always, I don't know anything about these ninjas. I don't know what their deal is. I don't know what their likes and dislikes are. I don't know who's good and who's bad. I just make them. I don't know anything about Ninja Go. I was going to make them look tough. Yeah, so there's a bunch of anime coming out. Oh, and also, no, I mentioned Jojo. Yeah, Jojo and Sword Art Online. Like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic about it. It could be great. It could be bad. Who knows? Um, it's more in the fantasy world, which I'm more into. It seems like there are more stakes, and not the lamest stake in the world, which is like, hey, spoilers for the second season of, because that's the second season, or is it the second half of the first season? Spoilers for a thing that happens in Sword Art Online. At one point, a major plot line is you need to figure this thing out and find the soul of uh, of the girl that you fell in love with in the game, because if you don't find her, we're gonna have her be legally wed to a dude. That was the plot line for the second half of the first season of Sword Art Online, and that was dumb. It's a real dumb show. I'd forgotten. Okay, so this minifig has some felt to it, which is like, these never quite sit right. You have to really kind of edge them on. They don't really work perfectly, but it's just fabric. It's just like fabric thing that sometimes are capes, but when they're like wrapped around the legs to basically be like an overlay for pants, in this case obviously armor, I don't think they ever really work right. I might just put a peg on here. Here's a pro tip. Yeah, you can do this sometimes. Nope, that doesn't work. Sometimes you can put a piece on to get it started, because as you can see, you're supposed to wrap these around the legs, and then you put the top bar to the chest on. And sometimes they don't want to go on right, so if you put a peg on there or a piece, a Lego, that'll hold it in. But yeah, there you go. Now he's got some cool fabric on his pants. But yeah, I enjoyed the Castlevania series, so I'll be looking forward to it. Oh, I'm gonna put this character on here, and all right. Okay. And give this person a spear, and then there was that little black piece that was chain. Should have put this with the minifig pieces. I knew that chain piece was clearly not for building and was for minifigs. All right, so we built our 2 minifigs. We got an extra sword, which is cool, but I'm just going to put the sword on our person. So now our ninja here has 3 swords. I don't know if he can use the sword in his teeth. I'm not sure. But at the very least, he's got 1 sword. He can hold 2 swords. All right, so now that we've done our minifigs, we can start working on our base. We'll build a little bit, then I'll take a break and can I go through ads? Because, you know, obviously you watched me do a lot of knolling there and not much building. So we'll jump into some building. Put those there. Get an extra body part there. And just kind of put these here. That there, put that there. Great, we got some building space. We'll probably build on the book as well. Alright, so this piece, this goes in the middle, and then we build around. Working on our water strider, which is like a big kind of spider thing. Lego sends extra pieces with their sets these days. Oh yeah, of course. There's always extra pieces. You're always going to find, if it's a very unique piece, you will often find extras. Like, you can see here there are 3 of these kind of clear orange pieces. We probably only need 2. Because if you lose one, it's a bummer. So you always end up with a few extras. That is a pretty standard thing. Sometimes not everything has an extra. But often it's if it's a very small piece, they will put an extra in there. They're very good about that. It is very, you're right, it is very handy. I do like look forward to that. Because on occasion, when I was working on a smaller work surface, not this big table, I had a smaller table I used to build on. We ran into that problem where I, on occasion, would drop a piece. And then it was small enough that it was like, well, this is a nightmare. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. And then knock on wood, knocking on floor. We won't be dropping anything today. All right. So that overhangs. And then these go on their side. Like I said, I have not seen this I don't know much about this property. I know that there are dragons, mech dragons, and I know there are ninjas. And that's kind of the extent of my knowledge about it. You might be surprised that I am building the water strider here. What we got going here? Oh, thank you, Robot Crank. Just subscribe with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for using your Twitch Prime in order to support the stream. It means a lot to me. Thank you for that. Yeah, make sure that you got, if you use Twitch Prime, you got to manually resubscribe, and you want to be subscribed because on Saturday, which is the last stream of the month, every last stream of the month, I always do a giveaway of a kit that I've built in the past on this channel and give it to a subscriber. I get the list of all of my current subscribers, do a randomized number generator. We're giving away 2 kits this month because last month the person that won the kit never got back to me, and then their subscription expired. So I'm going to give away 2 kits on Saturday. And if you want to win one of those kits, well, you got to be a subscriber. So it's a great time to be a subscriber. Yeah, let's throw the Bear Cave emote in there. Let people know what's up. Yeah, and it's very helpful that folks do that. If you're watching and you're not a subscriber, because it's like financially or you use your Twitch token on someone else, like I get it, I understand. But make sure that you're following the stream, my channel, and that you get notified when I go live, so that way you can follow along. There are a lot of streams out there, and I appreciate and thoroughly appreciate when folks take the time to support mine, and even just watching. Thanks all y'all for watching live. Really does mean a lot to me that people like the streams and want to check them out. Sure, there's not another. Okay, put that in there. Goes in there. Okay. And then these things go on this side. These gray pieces. I would have subbed when I tipped then the bits, but it wasn't expired yet. I understand, no problem, robot. Totally cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, yeah, if it didn't, you couldn't. I get that. Um, yeah, the first couple months I had it, I was given to somebody else. Like maybe like 2 months into Prime, and then let that expire because I now my Twitch token goes to Kate Stark, who you may have gotten an email about. I don't know. I don't think everyone did, but a lot of people got email today because she has a skin for a shirt in PUBG. The PUBG, you know, is in the partner program there and has been playing PUBG and is incredibly good at it. Kate Stark, who's on twitch.tv/Kate. Don't watch her if she's streaming now, but watch her when I'm not streaming because she streams all the time. It's like it's her full-time job. Whereas for me, it is a thing I do occasionally. Someone gifted me a sub to her the other day. Oh, that's awesome. Kate's chat is incredibly awesome. They are very protective of Kate. And occasionally a little weird with new people, but they mean incredibly well, and they are really a rad crew of people. So I fully love and respect that crew of folks. Okay, so the smaller one. Yeah, she's just a great person and has a really positive, awesome community that I'm happy to be part of. Even though I'm often at work when she's streaming, so I don't get to see her as much as I would like. All right, trying to keep up. Trying to make sure that I'm not missing any steps, as we talk. I'm going to do a couple more steps here, then I will take a momentary break. Pause for the cause, as they say, to talk about ways that y'all can support, much like Robot just did. There are other ways to support my stream if becoming a Twitch subscriber doesn't work for you. It is rad if you can do it, but if you can't do it, I understand. There are other ways to support. You could, you could gift people a subscription. If there's anybody who's cool in chat and you have the means, you could do that if you're already subscribed. That's one way. As I said, following and hitting the notification thing so you get notifications is a great way to support my streams as well. So that way you're informed and and you don't have to just be on Twitter when I stream. Obviously, I do keep a schedule and I do my damnedest to stay on that schedule. But on occasion, I've known to, have to stream on a different day or something like that. When I go to PAX Unplugged, which I'll talk about a little bit later, when I go there, I won't stream that Thursday because I'm going to be traveling that Thursday. But I will most likely stream the Wednesday, the day before. All right, so like I said, Patreon, great. Patreon is another way to support me. I don't know if I said that, but here's the Patreon link that you could click on. I am doing this kit because my $10 Patreon backers get to vote on kits that I build. And there was a tie between the Water Strider and the green Mech Dragon. Now, because it was a tie and I voted for the Mech Dragon, I decided to go with what more people said than, that didn't involve me. If that makes any sense. I decided to just go like, well, I didn't vote for this, but other people did, so that's why we're doing this one. My $10 supporters of Patreon always gets a vote on kits I build. The kits that are bought off my Amazon wish list, which I'll talk about in a second, those always jump the line. And $5 to get videos ahead of everyone else, like usually a day before everyone else gets the videos I put out. They get to see those. Um, and I do a monthly Q&A. I did that last week. And my $1, $5, $10, everybody gets to watch those. Uh, Hello, the Hollow. I'm just doing my ad read right now. Welcome. Glad to have you here. A little earlier than sometimes you pop in, which is great. Always nice when you're here. So welcome. Then I also have an Amazon wish list, as I mentioned. Um, if there's something that's not on the Amazon wish list that you were like, oh, I would love to see you build this, I would buy that, let me know. Um, in the same way that Data Jack sent me that link to the Space Shuttle, Lego Space Shuttle Creator Kit that was on sale, the cheapest it's ever been on Amazon. I just bought it because it was cheap enough. But if it'd been like $40 and still a deal, I'd put it on my wish list because that seems like a cool thing. But yeah, anything you buy on the wish list jumps the line for me making it. I also have the coffee, one-time donations, or you could do a monthly, you can set up a monthly thing, and that's just like a tip jar. That's just like here's a little bit there. The Hollow says, my Twitch notifications are flaky, and so is my memory. I understand. That's why I try to keep a schedule. Like Thursdays and Saturdays, 9 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern is when I stream. And then, once a month I do like a Monday afternoon stream. That's my bonus. I have a Discord. You could join that Discord. And we could talk about whatever you want to talk about. I post photos of the kits I build. People post photos of stuff they work on. You can always tweet that stuff to me, but if you want to post in there, that's cool. There's a place for people to promote themselves. If you're a streamer or if you have a YouTube channel, you can post in there. Patreon is automatically added to that, but you can join it if you're not in the Patreon. It's low key. It's not a lot of people, and it's fun. I check it every day, and I try to keep up with conversation. And then I do want to say that I'm going to be promoting this heavily because it's going to be very special. For the first time ever, instead of playing video games with chat, on Monday, October 29th, from 3:30 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. Eastern, which will be in the show description here on my YouTube archive, and I'm just putting in a chat right now, is the pumpkin carving stream. Right before Halloween, I'm going to take 2 pumpkins. I'm going to carve them on the stream. And then they're going to go to the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater East Village, the theater that I work at, and they will be in the lobby and the bar of that theater. I'll put one on each side. One I'm going to do completely just based on my own design, whatever I want to do, and the other pumpkin I will be taking requests from chat of what it should look like, and I will do my damnedest to live up to those requests. That is my promise. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be the end of October. That'll be instead of playing games. And then if there's time, we'll play Jackbox or whatever, There's, if it doesn't take 2 hours to do those, if it takes like 45 minutes suddenly, we'll play some Jackbox games. But yeah, it's going to be pumpkin carving. It's going to be really cool. I think that's it. The Hollow asks, how do I spend Halloween? So, primarily, most of the time, I work because I work nights. So this Halloween, the 31st of October, is a Wednesday night. So I will be teching shows, just like I would any other Wednesday. On nights where it is not my birthday, or sorry, not birthday, what am I saying? We're going to get back in the building, and then I'm going to re-say what I was trying to say there. In years where Halloween falls on a night that I don't work, instead what I do is I go into work and I hand out candy because my job is on Avenue A and East 3rd Street. People take their kids and walk up and down and go to all the businesses on Avenue A because a lot of them live in complexes and so they might knock on doors, but the businesses in that neighborhood expect for a certain amount of kids to arrive. So, what I'll do on that Wednesday is I'll go in early and hand out candy and then leave some candy, and we'll have some candy at like both doors in case any kids come in after. But usually what I'll do is if I'm not working, or if I'm not working, I'll just go in and stand outside. That way, the kids and parents don't go into the building and like get caught up in the audience for the shows. And it's a nice little thing for the neighborhood. People remember, um, and it's a nice thing that every year people were like, oh, you're handing out candy again. And like, because there's not really kids on my neighborhood, and also like I live on the second story of a house. My landlord is handing out candy. This is his house. He's going to hand out the candy. So this was a way for me to be able to hand out some treats. My old location when I used to work in Chelsea, no kids came because we were a basement theater, so we never got kids, which was a shame. Oop! I almost put the wrong color on. So I put black instead of dark gray. And luckily, I'm going to put, I noticed it because these are the same colors. And according to the sheet, they were supposed to match. So I almost screwed up there, but I didn't. But yeah, so that's how I spent Halloween. So I will be working. It'll be the end of my work week. November 1st, I'll stream as usual. Um, and I should be on a regular streaming schedule until the end of until the end of November, beginning of December, when I go to PAX Unplugged. Um, my favorite my candy bar of choice. I buy mixed. I like to have a bunch of stuff. I make sure I have Dum Dums because Dum Dums are good for folks that have like peanut allergies. It says it specifically, it's good for folks that can't have any, that are vegan. So I always have Dum Dums for kids that can't have different kinds of candy or are worried about the different kinds of candy that might be out there. So I always make sure I look out for that. And then I always get the mixed variety pack of the small little Hershey's where you get Crackle because my favorite Halloween candy is Crackle. And also it has Mr. Good bars in there, which I don't think Mr. Good bar is good. But what ends up happening is if I stand outside for long enough handing out candy on a street in New York, and this is true of other places as well, I'm sure, homeless people come up and want candy, and then I give them a Mr. Good bar. Or if a teenager, like a clearly like you are definitely 17 and you do not really have a costume, you have maybe a mask, comes up, I'll give them Mr. Goodbar as like a punishment candy because it's like it's still chocolate, but it's not. I don't think it's good. So, uh, like I wouldn't buy Mr. Good bars if they didn't come with, if they weren't in the Hershey, Dark Hershey, Crackle package, the classic miniatures or whatever they call. Not so fun fact. The Hershey store in Times Square does not just fucking sell Crackle. I thought the one place on this earth that I could just go into a store and get some goddamn Crackle when I wanted just Crackle would be that store. And when I went and asked for it, the person that I talked to said, I hear this every day. Someone comes in and asks for Crackle. And I was like, because they want it. They don't want the other things. They just want Crackle. Nestle Crunch is pretty much the same, but it's not. I want Crackle. The rice quotient is different on Nestle. PAX Unplugged. Mentioned PAX Unplugged. I'll mention it again. Sunday at 10 a.m. Yes. Which is December 2nd. I'm going to double check that, but that I believe to be accurate. December 2nd, Sunday, December 2nd, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, will be League of Heels, the next League of Heels show, which is titled Everyone Can Wrestle. The premise of it is it will be a tournament. I haven't announced the game yet, but it'll be one card game. Oh, VT Man just subscribed using Twitch Prime. Thank you so much, VT. We are inching our way to our highest numbers. We are in the mid 20s, trying to get back to 30. That was 32 was the highest we ever hit as far as monthly subscribers. Would love to try to get back to that. No pressure on anybody here. If you can't subscribe, you can't subscribe, and I get it. I get it. But yeah, thank you very much, VT Man. Let's see. What was I saying? The Hollow says we don't have Crackle in Canada, but I have had one, and it's slightly different from Crunch. Yeah, it's different. Nestle Crunches and Crackle are a different thing. And I happen to really like Crackle. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so PAX Unplugged. So League of Heels will be there. We have a panel on Sunday. I haven't announced the confirmed panelists, but I have one returning panelist, wrestler from previous shows. I have one returning wrestler from Australia's show. This person is not Australian, but did our Australia show. I have a new competitor, and then I have like more people to book that I haven't booked yet. All right, so we can put this aside for a moment. We're working on another chamber of this Strider, so we can work on that now. And then this goes like this. But yeah, it's gonna be good. We're gonna have a booth there. I will be there all weekend. Alexandra will be there. Alexandra will debut a new poster for Everyone Can Wrestle. It's going to be different. It will be the second show we've ever done. The third show we've ever done that features no one from Giant Bomb. And the second U.S. show ever that features no one from Giant Bomb. Because we did Southern Slam, and that was the second year of PAX South, and none of the Giant Bomb folks came out to Southern Slam. This is going to go... Missed a step. Reverse. This piece. Did you see that JVJ defending a certain flag boy? Yes, the Hollow. My Twitter response, which was, not directed at anyone, just said into the void, was a play on the Austin Walker tweet. Do you ever read a take so bad that you immediately fall asleep? Or you immediately have to go to sleep? Look, this is a show where we can talk about anything, and I want us to be able to talk about silly nonsense anime about a skeleton that works at a bookstore and sells manga, and also talk about the fact that you can't say that someone isn't racist, because inherently, we're all racist. David Jaffe is racist. Colin Moriarty is racist. I'm racist. We're all racist because we are born with inherent perceptions that we are given as a young person due to our community, our friends, our family, our neighborhoods, the media we consume. We are born with conceptions about people, racial thoughts that we have to work on to fucking quell. Like, as good as we are as people, as humans, the coolest motherfuckers in this world occasionally have to go, shit. Why did I think that? Why am I thinking this right now? We have to be able to do that. And if we don't ever stop to consider that, if we don't, in a heart of hearts, work on being more than what we were born as, then we're very racist. Yes, I have not followed David Jaffe either, but someone retweeted what he had to say. He made a short little thing, basically saying, like, I don't know why I can't convince people. I've always said that he's not racist. I don't know why people don't believe me. And it's like, okay, like, all right, I guess it's a weird thing. Like, You want to defend your friend who, like, had said a lot of racist stuff in the past. And I am not here to be like, oh, like, Colin Moriarty is clueless about a lot of things, awful about many, many things. I don't know if he is racist so much as he is a terrible pundit. And I don't know in his heart of hearts if he believes what he says about Asian people and black people and diversity in general. I don't know. I think he's made it very clear his opinion on women. I think he's made that very clear. So I know that, but I don't know. It's hard sometimes. But the thing that I like to do is take people at their word. Like, the words you say, best case, take them at face value. So if you talk a bunch of nonsense about people, and you talk about nonsense about a lot of like races and creeds and colors and sexual orientations and gender identities and a bunch of other shit, and then you're like, well, you know, I mean, I have a YouTube channel, so like I say stuff. Well, nah, fuck off about that. Then you should be embarrassed and ashamed. The Hollow says, as an adult, I've had to scrub a lot of from my vocabulary. It's not because of any so-called PC police. It's because of more aware of people's feelings. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it's knowledge, right? There's a reason why I say folks or everybody or good evening, where in my day job for a very, very long time, I said, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I said at the start of many a comedy show. I would say, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't say that anymore because it's not hard to not say that. It's, in fact, very easy to be inclusive in that way. What I often say is, if I used to say, like, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, I say, UCB Theater, please welcome to the stage, and denote the audience as, like, in that way. And it's not fucking hard to do it that way. I messed up, so I had to go back and adjust the thing. Because I went to go put this on, and it didn't fit anywhere. And now it does. Because I just do that. There we go. There's our turbine, or whatever this is. That's why I try to mostly say y'all. Still definitely use guys too much. Yeah, I mean, I do as well, Road. You're not wrong. But I'm trying to be more inclusive in that way because it's not hard. Or like a friend of mine pretty recently came out as non-binary. And they are a rad person. A wonderful, helpful, awesome person. And they could be like kind of a jerk and it would still apply. And, you still want to treat them right. But this person is rad as shit. And they were saying, here is a name I would like you to use. So the next time I had an opportunity to tweet at them, I made sure to include their name in the tweet. I could have easily just said, hey, or the response that I gave, but I made sure to include their name. Because I know that just fucking talking about that shit is huge. And to come to terms with that is huge. And it's the fucking least you can do is to be like, say the name that they want to hear. Like, you just say that name that they're looking for you to say is like not revolutionary or groundbreaking. It's just like basically the bare fucking minimum. And it means a lot to people to be counted and counted on. Means a hell of a lot. Um, okay, so Isk says, politeness yes. Road says, I'm the only girl in my small friend group, so saying guys technically makes sense, but yeah, you can work that. So I've had the issue of trying to use a gender neutral word for group people in professional setting. I don't use guys, but I work at fancy. So y'all, yeah, folks is kind of pretty much acceptable. I think y'all can be tough. Um, Everybody is a term. You know, I've used it. Hey everybody. Um, uh, yeah, I mean the hollow. It's look the easiest way I can say it without obviously not being a genderqueer person or a non-binary person myself. I can only speak so broadly, right? But like, there's more than just men and women, and there are people who are like I'm neither, and there are people who are like I'm somewhere there, but like my friend Alex is like you can say he, you can say she, you can say they. I am all of that, and that's rad. I tend to say they because I want to make sure that I don't just slip into only calling my friend Alex she, and that I respect the fact that Alex is fine with all. I kind of got in the habit of saying they. In my mind, that's a way I can honor these choices that my friend is making. Um, but yeah, because it's not that fucking much different than honestly, if you grew up with a kid named Petey, and then Petey got a job and is like, hey, I'm a lawyer now. I go by Pete or Peter. And you're still like, well, you're Petey to me. That makes you a fucking asshole. If you're like, well, I grew up calling you Petey, so I'm going to always call you Petey. It's like, nah. They just said that's not my thing anymore. I'm Pete. I'm Peter the fucking lawyer. And you're like, okay. Like, that's all it fucking is. Because you respect the choices that people make and you want to do right by them. And also, hey, I'm going to say this right now. When you get like pronouns right and you get names right and you do the fucking bare minimum, it still feels fucking good. It still feels like, yeah, I said the thing you want. Hell yeah. And you screw up and I slip up. Yeah. Yes, the hollow. I understand what you mean. You don't understand it because it's not you, so you can only understand so much of it. I get it. Isk, have a great night. Thanks for stopping in. Glad to have you here. Uh, yes, the hollow. I totally understand what you mean. I mean, a lot of stuff when I talk about relationship stuff, like I don't, I can only, a lot of it's just off of like my knowledge of humanity and human beings and how like I want people to be treated and how I want to be treated. And I'm guessing at a bunch of stuff because I just don't have a lot of that. Because like how my attraction manifests is different from other people. So like I'm kind of guessing on stuff. Uh, and you just hope that you just hope that you can be there for people and help them out, but especially with your friends, like. And then the cool thing is that like, uh, I think because of who they are that they'll be fine with me saying this. But I had a friend who I won't name who was just like, "Hey, you say they a lot when you're talking about Felix. Are you talking about like a company or a partner?" And we were like, "Oh no, Felix would prefer that we use they pronoun or say Felix." And then my friend was like, "Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Shit, okay. Okay." And it's like, "Great, yeah. It's like, you don't have to, like, freak out about it. You just have to go, like, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to do that then. It's like, yeah. Yeah. You do your damnedest to do that shit. And it doesn't matter that, like, when you met Felix, Felix used, like, pronouns that were, like, she, her. It doesn't matter anymore. It's different now. I want to use folks more, but my province's conservative leader kind of ruined it. It's a pseudo dog whistle like the OK sign on Twitter, meaning Trump supporter. Oh, that fucking sucks, Road. Well, and that's a cultural thing now, you know, that which fucking blows. Um, yeah, I think like uh, there's a there's something like I forget the exact thing, but there's a bit of a dog whistle in the homophobic world out there that like saying girlfriend when you're talking about a gay man was meant to be like fake accepting, but really it's like, oh, we know what you meant. We know what you meant by girlfriend or girl. And it's like, oh, fuck off. Get bent. Go to hell. All that shit sucks. I mean, Lashbrook, it is a white supremacist. The OK symbol is white supremacist time. It just so happens to be that a lot of white supremacists are also Trump supporters, weirdly. And it's kind of been adopted as a Trump supporter thing as well. All that shit is gross and sucks. This looks cool. Yeah. Ugh, it all sucks. I just want people to be awesome to each other and cool. And I think I've told this in the chat before. When my friend Polo first decided that she would go by Polo and not her name Emily that she had used, I grossly said, "Oh, you're Emily, though. But I know you use Emily, so I'll try." And that's awful. It's awful that I said that because I didn't know, and I'll never know why, and I don't need to know why. I don't need to know the why. I just need to know that Polo made the decision that Polo is Polo's name, and I need to respect her and do the fucking right thing. And I look back at that and I'm like, I fucked that up real bad. Shit. I'm glad that Polo is fucking nice enough of a human being to overlook me being shitty like that and didn't negatively affect our friendship for the long term. But I also could understand fully if I said that and in her head she went, oh, can't trust Pat with shit. I would not be surprised. Because that's a shitty thing to say. And I wish I hadn't said that. So I want to point out a thing in these instructions. As you can see here, there's the word click, because this piece is going to click into this piece. Like this. It's like snapping. It snaps in. But they also didn't fully write, like, it won't be like a, they wrote that. They wrote click, but they don't have the K in the second click. And that's weird. Yes, Lashbrook, click, boom, you're right. What was I thinking? It's click, boom. But that's weird. I don't know why they did that. But I clicked it. And then this goes on this. That just lives there. What? Nope. Weird. Goes on there. Alright. And then, yeah, this turbine turns. This thing moves around. It's very cool. It's got a lot of movement to it, which is very cool. The turbine turns. Oh, that turns, but there's nothing in it yet. Something else is going to happen on here, because you can see the mechanism here. There's the gray thing that clicked in turns around. You can support a thing a couple ways. You can either do what Pat did, or you can be like, I have very little experience with people changing their name pronouns, so I might mess up, but I'll do my best. And that's like, what's okay? Yeah. Road, and I understand. I have a friend of mine who their general philosophy is like, hey, if you use my old dead name, that fucking sucks. If you misgender me, that fucking sucks. Don't apologize. Just adjust it, fix that shit, and move on. And then I have another friend who's like, no, you fucking stop what you're doing. And you go, fuck, I'm sorry. And you fucking make the big deal of it that it is a big deal. And hey, I'm not here to say anything about either. I don't fucking know. I'm just going to try my goddamn best to not continue to fuck up when I fuck up. And kind of play it by ear. But yeah, I mean, it depends on the person. That's for you personally, yeah. Be corrected like 3 times, then it gets iffy. That makes sense to me, and I think that's fucking reasonable. I think if you keep fucking up, maybe you're not really fucking up, or you're not trying hard enough. I don't know. I can only really speak for myself, honestly, when I say like, I don't know. I think I've slipped here and there, but for the most part, fucking do what you need to do. Get her done. Be respectful and try your damnedest to say the name, do the thing. All right, we're building some weapons here. Um, I mean, I'll admit that I'm certainly guilty of. I make. I don't always make the assumption, but I sometimes make an assumption based on Twitter names or you know Twitch names, and based on the fact that most of my audience is male, that I sometimes say he him if I'm not sure. Uh, I make an assumption, which is fucking wrong of me. I should not assume any gender of folks that are watching, but I do on occasion. I gotta catch myself with that shit. Road, I get what you're saying. I like I said, I know people who are. This is my fucking name. Say my goddamn name. Know my gender. Say my gender. Know my fucking pronouns and do it. Because the least you can do. God damn it. Shit is hard enough. Fucking be a person. Be helpful. And I get that. And then there's some people that are like, yeah, I don't know. Try not to be shitty. If you could avoid being shitty, that would be cool. I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah. All right, we're almost done with bag one. We're going to finish this up here um, by building the back end here, the thing that goes over our turbine engine. I didn't know we get some. Look, Road, do not apologize for having thoughts. Certainly. If we cannot have conversations in this, then I don't know what I'm doing. Like I always say, like, when we started, I knew at some point we'd mention the Jaffe Collin thing because I expected it to come up because it happened like right before I got here. So I expected it to be part of the conversation. What is this? How does this work? Because we had because it just like it was just became a little bit of a part of the conversation. So I figured, yeah, that makes sense that it'll enter. Someone will bring it up, and we'll talk about it then. Um, but also, like, yeah, never be afraid to like want to talk about stuff. We are a pro thought channel. This chat is uh, respectful and cool and willing to talk about things and willing to engage in conversation. Um, the, a channel full of thoughtful, cool folks. Yeah, we're going to be supportive and awesome and figure that stuff out together. Do our damnedest. All right, so that goes like that. I figured that out. It took a little while. This is a weird piece here. Some weird steps with this. I'll show it to you on there. But yeah, like yeah, I figured the news of the day might come into conversation in the same way that I thought, well, I've got a lot to talk about with one of my favorite anime of all time, Yu Yu Hakusho. So, fucking let's talk about it. Or the same way that I was like, we might talk about Dragon Ball Z because Dragon Ball Z Kai, because the All Systems Goku is back, and oh, I'm so happy that they both like it. Um, that was a lot, Road. You're not wrong. The goings on today were pretty rough. But yeah, I'm happy the boys like Dragon Ball the Dragon Ball Z Kai, these episodes, the Great Saiyaman arc, because it is such a stupid, goofy, wonderful arc that I love so much. It is like Great Saiyaman is like some of my favorite dumb stuff as far as Dragon Ball goes. So the fact that they were like into it made me very happy. Playing the best Spider-Man game. Hell yeah, Last Brook. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 for the GBA. I do not believe I have played the GPA version, but that does sound rad. All right, so we finished bag 1. What we're going to do is we're going to null bag 2 because I can leave the table out until Saturday. So we can get a head start on me on my nulling, and then I will be in a better spot on Saturday so we can get into it. Because it's too early just to leave y'all. But this is what we've got for our Strider so far. It's kind of cool. I'll put that there while we null. And I'm just going to close the bag, the booklet, put that aside, and we're just going to null bag 2. Like I said, we might actually finish this on Saturday. I'm not expecting it to take too long to do this kit. I should probably put another poll up to see what I build next. Every once in a while I just make a decision and be like, well, we're going to play this next. But it is, I'm going to build this next. But it is nice to have my $10 Patreon supporters be able to vote on what I do. GBA version is legit. Versions of the console games were weird. Like I didn't play with soft footage. The Max Payne GBA, and it looks so neat. Yeah, I don't have any experience with that version of the game, so I'm taking your word for it that it's cool. Yeah, get out of here, bag. All right, so we're gonna put our people over here. We'll deal with that later. Hopefully by Saturday this book will flatten out because I'm going to put something heavy on it. I have an email from my work email that I'm going to quickly check while we do this conversation. Oh, it's fine. And that's fine. Hopefully I can stick it here. I have been... Nope. Oh, I lost some followers. Never mind. I very briefly hit 6,500 Twitter followers. And then I've been in then I dropped down to the high 90s, 6,490 something, but it just dropped back down again. So I'm trying to get over the hump of 6,500 and stay there, but unfortunately, not the case right now. So you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me. Game Boy Advance Classic. Yeah, who knows? And also, who knows if those would have the games you want on them? Licensing could be tough, which is not the fun answer, but is the answer. Unfortunately, for a lot of that, it's like yeah, you might just not get the thing you want. All right, so it goes there, it goes there. Black pieces here, some gray. I might just null 2 bags. On occasion, I will null multiple bags if they're small like this, just to have them all together. So we might do that. And that way we can really bang through it on Saturday. There. Pat, have you watched any Dragon Ball Z Abridged? Years ago, Robot. I'm not super fond of dub fight and the dub culture. It was always my least favorite part of anime conventions was dub stuff. So, I think because I'm like, if it's a thing I like, I have trouble making fun of it, and if it's a thing I hate, I just hate it and I don't want to see it. And I know that's me, that's a personal opinion, and I know that there are plenty of folks that really do enjoy the abridged kind of things. I think like part of it, like I said, is that if I don't like something, I don't want to watch it, even if it's making fun of it. Like I don't watch terrible movies that you're like, oh, you have to watch this. It's the worst. I'm not interested in that. Like, just never been interested in that. I'm sometimes no fun. Uh, um, so yeah, so I've never really been into that stuff. And then, then there's the other thing of like you click on a thing and you think you're gonna watch a clip of something that you're interested in, and then it turns out to be like, oh no, this is a dub over. This is not the thing you wanted. This is a fake fan sub of this, and you're like, oh shit, this isn't what I wanted. I want the cool one. That is not that often that happens, but it does happen. So yeah, tech limitations can cool thing. GBA Max Payne is weird. I just watched a bit. It's like comic style narration panels. Oh, that sounds kind of cool. I mean, yeah, like you're working on a Game Boy Advance. You can only do so much, and sometimes those ports were really interesting and weird, and sometimes they worked, and you're like, how did you do this? How could you possibly do this? All right, so we're gonna null our bag 4 as well. Because why not? It'll just make our lives easier on Saturday. Saturday we can just get to building, and then I'll finish it up. And yeah, so tomorrow there'll be a poll for my $10 Patreon subscribers of what I should build next, because this will be done. We will most likely, if we don't finish this on Saturday, we will be very close to being done on Saturday. This is not a long kit. That is the nice thing about the Ninjago stuff, is that most of it isn't super expensive, so you're not paying the Star Wars tax. So I don't mind that this is like 2 episodes worth of content. Whereas I like the master grades are usually like 2.5 to 3, which is pretty rad. But that Bawoo we started on Saturday. Last Thursday we built a very tiny part of it. But that did not take long at all to build. And I like it when my kids take a little time to build. I got to be honest about it. Because I'm here to build stuff. I think about that ray. I have a ray kit, little speeder. It's like a 200 piece kit. It's going to take no time at all to build, and I don't want to think about how much that costs because I paid the tax. Oh yeah, old school PC games button layouts were always kind of a nightmare pre-scroll wheel. which was a fun solution for sure. For sure. Oh, I did want to say, I'll give you all a little preview. My next Let Pat Play, which comes out on Monday, I'm returning to Police State, made by Allison, who's we know of the recently of the chat. Um, Allison made it for the Giant ROM Game Jam, and apparently there's a gun that you get almost immediately in Police State, and it makes the game way easier to play. And I did not know that. So I went back with that knowledge and went farther than I did the previous time I looked at the game. So I did that today. That'll go up on Monday. Although my Patreon supporters, $5 plus, will get it on Sunday, as always. All right. So what I'll probably do is sometime tomorrow or Saturday when I'm feeling bored, I will null this by like size and shape and do something like I'll take these and go like this and stack all of these so that way I can find them they're all together and it decreases the amount of space I need for all these pieces. As you can see, there's a lot of black here. And it also makes it easier because that way you don't have to like dig through your piles of colors to find things. Some Nolan tips for y'all. You'll see on Thursday that these are going to be way more organized. Like, yeah, like all these will all like be stacked together. And it'll be easier to find them. And occasionally you get a shape that like you only have one of, so you can't really stack them, but you make do with your different piles. And that's pretty much it for this episode. I'm just gonna lay back. We finished our Bawoo. We did 2 full bags of our Water Strider. Water Strider's already looking pretty cool. I look forward to completing that. If not on Saturday, then we'll make a lot of progress on Saturday. Just get all these there. But yeah, we'll probably wrap up. I'm gonna go put on some shoes and go get myself a treat, which will be a slice of pizza. I'm gonna go get a slice of pizza because I'm hungry, and I don't know. I'm my own person. I can go get pizza if I want. I had pizza several days this week because this week was the 3-year anniversary of Pizza Rat. So to honor that rat just trying to get a slice, I've gone out and had several slices this week. But I'll continue that by go getting a slice of pizza. Maybe 2 slices. Who knows? Maybe I'll get real weird with it. But yeah, I want to honor that rat. Go get some pizza. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you had a good time. Do the whole thing. If you're watching this on the YouTube archive, like and subscribe. If you're here on Twitch, give me a follow if you don't already. Consider becoming a subscriber. And as always, thank you so much. I don't often say this, but it is the God honest truth. I did this because I missed building. And I also knew that there were a lot of people out there that liked the stuff I did at PAX and wanted to just like see me more often and do more fun things and hang out. And also, I hope this chat is the kind of chat I would like to be in. So thank you all for that. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you on Saturday for another Build with Baer workshop. Bye bye.